We're in. Okay. Yeah.
We're live.
Yeah, we're back. We're back.
Okay. Okay. Maybe we're gonna knock the rust off here.
Right.
A bit,
it's been
man.
what? So it's been 3
It's been
weeks.
a while.
Good God,
It's been
man.
a long time. How are you, man? It's like I feel like I haven't seen your face.
It feels like too long, man.
It's been way too long.
I know, man. But life's good. I'm alive. I'm here. We're back at TNS HQ.
Yeah. I just picked up some. This is our sponsorship for tonight. Unofficial sponsor. I just picked up some.
It's not even Axe and Sledge. It's just Mike Roden.
Yeah, it's just
Dad.
Mike Roden is sponsoring the podcast tonight. I had to get this. So this is the lemon cream pie, homemade, and that just says it's like all my words, like all in one. Oh, and wow. I feel like Mike handled this one on his own. Like I feel like
he personally carried that to the shipping department.
Got his vibes off of it.
I'm excited to try them, dude. Like I keep telling myself, I'm like, I want to open it up and try it. But
yeah, I agree.
It's but homemade, awesome meal replacement, guys. Obviously, if you're watching this from the Snoop group or on Facebook, you'll know we're huge fans of the meal replacement here. So yeah, let me know how that goes. How it tastes.
I'll let everybody know. So, dude, what have you been?
I was going to ask you the same thing, dude. So I don't know when the last cast was.
I think it was before we went on our vacation.
Yeah. So did I have any of this last time?
No.
Were we doing? So I didn't have my new ink. I've got a little tat. Finished up the essential amino acids.
Yeah, there's lots of changes.
Lots of stuff on there. So that's new.
Yeah. We got tan.
Yeah, it bronzed out, dude.
You moved.
Yeah.
Like, wait, okay, so like we should have
made
a list.
We should have done this before.
Should have made a list of all the things that are different now.
Right. There's a lot. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
And so much happens in such a short amount of time.
That's true. Even when we get together like once a week.
Yeah.
You forget how much like actually happened. And that's always like the funny thing we always talk about. Business mindset and growth mindset and all this other stuff. But really, like once you get into it and you're around other people that do it, it just like happens like all the time. Like you're just like, oh my God. And then you start like, again, when I walked in here today, I was like, man, it's crazy how much this room has changed just in the amount of time that I've known you.
Right.
Little by little, man.
Hey, every day, man, just little steps forward. But we got a question here. I'm going to put it up. I hear you're not supposed to take GBB and fall asleep on your back. If you see someone that is taking GBB and falling asleep on their back, turn them over. Actually, hey, fellas.
Actually, yeah, she just did that the other day, like on accident. Like you laugh, but it does happen. I think someone actually, what was she saying? She took a product that had GBB in it and was like, are you not supposed to take that before like you fall asleep? And I was like, no, like you definitely start sweating. And she's like, okay, so it's not just me.
Yeah.
I think like one thing that constantly happens is because GBB is not a stimulant, right? You'll see people, they'll grab a product and they'll think, oh, I can take this, say like before bed because it's non-stim.
Right.
And GBB, because I think it was thermal. Because the new thermal has GBB in it. The old one didn't. So you think non-stim, a lot of people like to take non-stim fat burners before they go to sleep because they think it's going to like keep pushing like this fat burning thing through sleep. And then
It'll
take
push
something.
All right. It'll push the sweat.
Well, GBB, it's one of those things that we talk about it all the time. Like some people look at labels and they go, oh, it's got X amount of caffeine or it's got X amount of this dosage. A lot of what happens in these formulas and products are down to very bottom. The yohimbines and the alpha yohimbines they're like, it's like small 1 milligram. And then the huperzines, and then you have like things like GBB that are 15 milligrams, 20 milligrams, and all of a sudden people are like, the dosages, man, some of that stuff is potent. So
they don't realize.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to take GBB before you go to sleep.
Definitely not a good idea. Honestly, any thermogenic before going to bed, really. Sleep is a very anabolic process in and of itself. It's recovery. It's, recuperation, regulation of the hormones. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to be. I think that, then again, I guess it depends.
Well, I think that like I get the concept behind, because there's like people, Morphogen Ben, one of his products has mitoburn in it before bed. And I get that because it's like, okay, but mitoburn is a little bit different. I don't think mitoburn is really like, it's not a thermogenic. It's like
isn't it derived from carnitine?
It's
am I wrong?
The beta is not from carnitine. I don't think.
Okay.
It's so beta when you work out, your your biomarkers, your markers of beta go up. So it's like indicative of a workout. So that's why they mark it as like, oh, it's like exercise in a bottle kind of thing, which is not true. But then, so you figure it's not a thermogenic, but if you have it during sleep, it helps with like recovery and things like that. So it kind of makes sense. But I think like people with the non-stim fat burners before bed, I just don't know if there's really. Yeah, I think I think just taking something to help you sleep better is probably more effective.
Yeah, oh, most definitely.
So anyway, so let's talk about life. We were about to talk about.
Oh yeah, I didn't know because I figured if the people are watching right now and they haven't seen the update, somebody was going to say something. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's all my guys got the logo on their arm before me,
and you didn't have it,
and I didn't have it for 3 years. So I was like, you know what, screw it, we're going to get it, and then we finished the essential amino acids down the arm too, and so yeah, I'm stoked about it. We've got to get it touched up and kind of finished up. The elbow was a son of a bitch.
Oh yeah,
like going around the elbow here.
Oh yeah,
was the worst thing ever. But
I don't have any on my elbows.
Smart man.
So we have mine was in my shoulder blades. That hurt. That really hurt.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, that hurt.
Right.
Like nothing else that I got done bothered me, but when they started digging into my shoulder blades, I was like, oh man.
And it's just you can't stop thinking about it either.
But we have some friends coming down that we're all talking about. We're gonna all get tattoos together.
Okay.
So wherever you went, obviously, they did a good job.
Yeah, so. She's awesome. Her name's Brandy Arts, and so I think she's a women's physique competitor. Real muscular girl. Awesome, great artist too. So, but as any good tattoo artist, she's booked out till like next year.
Oh,
but killer stuff.
I was gonna say, what if we bring like 10 people?
I was gonna say, yeah.
She might make some room for like.
Honestly, we should invite her to the Christmas party and just have her set up there.
Have her set up a booth.
I was gonna say,
man, that's a good idea.
I'll just add that to the task list.
Speaking of the Christmas party, right? So we're gonna start. I know a lot of people have asked me.
Oh, Casey says it's gonna happen. Yeah,
Casey knows.
Sweet.
So I think what we're gonna try to do, because I know a lot of people from the group, and Andrew was there last year. So I think we're going to try to get the same venue. Obviously, we made a few mistakes last year. So I'm going to try to talk to Lisa tomorrow and see if they will be gracious enough to let us come back.
Right.
And then we'll just do a little bit better job of cleaning up. But so hopefully for everybody that's going to start making plans to come out of town, I'll talk to her and then we can at least know like yes or no. We have to look for somewhere else. But hopefully we'll try to get the same venue, December 18th, so that everybody that came last year
will already know
what to do.
And I just I do apologize for not putting out any information on it, to the people who are listening. Everything's been so busy, so hectic. It has not been at the top of my list, but definitely going to be moving forward on that and getting more plans and, promotion out there for it.
Yeah, it happens fast because that's what we were just talking about. Was looking at certain dates because we have the Apollon party is next month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's only a month away. Like we've been talking about it for a long time. I was like, it's already the middle of September.
Dude, so it happens so quick.
Yeah. We're only 3 months away from the Christmas party.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get, pretty much everything's taken care of. Like we were talking about before the cast, we have a DJ, Brandon Lagarde. We have Holy Moly who will cater the food. And then obviously we'll get beer on tap if you're over 21. So
yeah, that'll be the good thing if we can graciously beg Lisa to let us come back. Everything's already basically taken care of. So hopefully we can announce that for everybody. I would say within the next week because I'll see her probably not this weekend, but I'll see her at some point over the next week. So everybody can start making their plans because it's the holidays and people want to. It's the holidays, like Casey said for sure.
And I've had a lot of people already. Like I know Chris said that it's his birthday weekend, so
he's coming. He is coming.
Oh, because he told me he couldn't come because of that.
No, he said
that makes me happy.
He said he couldn't come, but then remember when we did the podcast with him that night and we sort of pushed him on it. He said
okay,
and then I followed up with him and he said yes. So
okay, good. He said, I like that.
He's coming,
dude. All right, so Chris Waldron, if he shows up, that means I need to go ahead and get to work right now.
Right. So, and it's his birthday party.
Right. Oh God, dude.
I mean, like a lot of people celebrate somebody else's birthday in December, but we celebrate Chris Waldron's birthday in December.
Okay, so tomorrow morning when I wake up, my task list for TNS is scratch that. It is Chris Waldron TNS Party 2021.
Chris Waldron's birthday party. And I think so. Chris and I, we haven't done a live together in months.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Because once the summertime hit, we had a lot of like weekend trips, and then he had his baby. And so we kind of put it off, and then we've been talking about doing it again. And finally today, it was just one of those things I was like, we're doing it. And I put it out there. So now he has to.
He has no choice.
He has no choice.
So is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Sweet. Yeah.
So then when I'll talk to him again tomorrow, but he said yes.
Okay.
And I have some evidence of him saying yes somewhere. If I have to use it against him, I will.
Yeah. And it sucks, man. The Axe and Sledge Christmas party's on the same day, apparently.
It's the 17th.
Yeah. And so I don't think Heather will be able to make it.
But no Heather, no Mike.
I know, no Seth, the whole team.
But I did hear that there was something else in the works there.
They gave me their word. So, and I trust those guys. Hopefully we're going to put something together down here at some point. But let's see. Andrew says I'll party with you guys and stay longer than 24 hours. Yeah, please do, man.
That was such a boss move by Andrew last year.
He just showed up. I was like, what?
Like him and Brady came in and just showed up and were like hanging out, and then they were gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that was pretty cool.
Just badass, man. Just show up and disappear.
And Matt going to come too?
We got Matt. Yeah. Matt, you better get down here, man.
Matt.
Hopefully. Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah. We need to get him down here. I was on the phone with him today. Love that guy.
Was he talking to you about the product there?
The pre?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
He messaged me today.
Yeah. It's an awesome formula. I'll just say that.
It's a brick and mortar one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, very, very nice formula. We're excited about it for sure.
That's what I was telling people the other day is they are obviously super famous for their protein as well. They should be. But if you look up and down their line, their formulas are awesome.
Yeah. They're all killer stuff.
There's a really cool one there. It's almost like their testosterone support product. Elevated, I believe it's called. They that one's killer. It's got a huge dose of the Fedosia, and that one's like very like libido driven. And I know like a lot of guys that use it, a lot of that stuff, it's not necessarily a raise of a lot of testosterone. It might not be moving the needle there, but you feel better.
Right. And that's what matters most though. You know, I mean, most of the guys that go into the clinics for TRT, they feel like shit. They're not going to get big and swole. And I think that's where a lot of our industry's gone wrong with these test boosters. Yeah. Is they're marketed like they're muscle builders. When in reality, they should be marketed as lifestyle or like a, overall daily wellness, Yeah,
it's kind of like anything with supplements is, and we get into like dosage conversations, and there's a lot of stuff where it's like, okay, if you're going to talk, especially certain like health-based and performance-based ingredients, you want to hit things that have data and have backing behind it. And it also keeps some of the bad actors out of the space. But there's always nuance to all this conversation, right? It's like because I'll tell people, if you go out there, as long as you know that there's all these products, that you carry all these different pre-workouts, as long as people know that, I don't care what pre-workout you ultimately use. If it makes you feel good and gets you to the gym, and that's fine. I just don't like when people aren't aware of this stuff because of what they're marketed constantly. So that's where I think like we kind of step in where we go, we want to expose people to these things, and then what you ultimately use, I'm not going to criticize, because if you feel good, then what the hell? It's
the whole point. And I use the example of, and I love Axe and Sledge. I do. They have a super loyal following, super loyal customer base. A lot of them don't realize that there's other great formulas out there too, though. And so they'll come in, the demo crew guys. I love them.
They are dedicated.
And they honestly, it takes me showing them a picture of me, you, and Seth together for them to open up to me and believe me. But that's like the key. It's like that opens it up. But they don't even realize that like there's things other than seventh gear and hydraulic, and there's so many products out there.
That's pretty awesome.
But
it's funny because I've actually run into several people at Iron House, wearing Axe and Sledge and demo crew stuff. And we'll get to talking about Axe and Sledge, and they'll be like, "Oh, have you ever used their products or anything?" And I'll show them like the podcast, and dude, like the people, they're like, "You were on a podcast with Seth, bro."
Oh, dude, and so it's happened to me actually a few weeks ago. I was at a powerlifting event, and a guy came up to me, and like I said, I love Axe and Sledge. I love their demo crew guys. this particular individual, you would have thought he worked for Access Sledge the way
nice.
he talked about him.
Yeah.
And, he was like, yeah, I'm in the demo crew. I this, that, and the other. Have you had this? And I was like, yeah, man. I was like, you ever listen to and I didn't say anything, I was like, have you ever listened to his podcast? I was like, it's really good, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, every single one. I was like, go to episode 98 real quick. And he pulled it up and it said my name and your name on it. And he's like,
wait, what?
Wait, huh? You know him?
Yeah.
So yeah, dude. So, but it was really cool.
No.
Not a bad encounter. But
I think it's one of those things where I think it's really cool because you see just how powerful this whole space can be. And also one reason too why I don't have any problem telling people, dude, I walk in here and I bought this and I love to support them and I am totally biased towards them because not only do they have that piece to them that attracts people to them, but they're providing a lot of value for the customer too. So it's like
people. And
so
when I say that, when I say that about their following too, like that's not a bad thing.
No, they're
ultimately
people would kill for that.
I would kill for that kind of, like that's what I want our brand to resemble one day. So I have mad appreciation for it.
Yeah, they're amazing.
So we've got a few other people commenting.
Vegas in Utah the week before.
Oh, talking about Chris dropping him back in Utah.
Oh yeah, and Will definitely come too.
Yeah,
we gotta get Will.
Yeah, we definitely need Will out here. That would
be
awesome.
Will was a legend during the last one. All he did was eat the whole time.
See, he was bulking.
Yeah, he was bulking, and he just literally would eat and try to find a bathroom for like the whole 4 days.
Sounds like Austin every day at work. I still think back to last year's party, man, and like the start of the vlog. Austin says, "I can't wait to babysit a bunch of grown ass people."
Probably the best moment of the whole entire thing.
And then he's just shit faced in the middle of. I mean, I was too, but I wasn't to that level. That's for sure.
The way you put it together was perfectly because you literally started it off. And he was just like, babysit a bunch of
his pessimistic sound. Yeah, he's like a bunch of grown ass people. Yeah,
adults or whatever. And then you went right into him like in full on mode.
Yep,
and that was pretty awesome.
Casey says we have GI support, so Will won't be on the. Yeah, that's a very good point. And Austin actually does swear by GI support. So
a lot of people do. You know, it's kind of one of those things where, like for me, I can't use it. Well, it's just not for me because I don't have any like issues. So I wanted
fairly regular. Yeah,
I wanted to try it out just to see if, and it would actually move me in the opposite direction where I would start to not feel that great. But it just like reaffirms the point that I have been saying since this whole like over the last couple of years, since the probiotics and all this GI support stuff, people are just force feeding it and people are just buying it up. And I'm like, hey, everybody pump the brakes on this stuff. I was like, because there's a balance that you have going on there. So when I take GI support, it actually, I don't really care for how it's too strong. It's like it works too well.
Yeah.
But for people that I know that do have issues, and people are paying, what is it, like 50 sometimes premium price product, and people are like, they're swearing by it.
Right.
So it's really awesome that it's really helping people because I know how much painstaking effort he went through. So I'll give you an example because Will's, we have NDAs with most of our clients and stuff like that. We don't talk about who we work with very often, but Will is very open about his support and how much we work together. Will says to me, Prady and I, the one time on a phone call, this is months ago, he says, I want to come out with a GI support product. And he goes, I want to make this one a little simpler. He's like a little bit more cost effective for people. And so we're like, okay, cool. Like, because his products are very expensive, and as his team to help him make money, we're like, you got to be careful of your margins, and we need you to, kind of keep an eye on everything. We need you to keep your formula prices like within a certain area.
I feel like that's not the first time that's happened with him, though.
Well, and then he turns around and says, hey, by the way, here's the GI support product I'm working on. And we see the formula cost, and I'm like, Will, he's like, I just can't help it. He's like, I can't not like go like full bore, which is totally cool. That's what he does, and that's why he has so much respect. But it was just funny because he really did try to like but it's like you need to
hold that thought. Sorry, we went down for half a second. That's my bad, guys. I'll basically just restart what you were just saying.
Okay,
so, yeah, my bad.
No, I was just saying, like, when Will was pricing out his formulas, a lot of people in this space, they try to undercut competition because they don't have overhead.
Right.
But then what you do is you keep yourself from being able to grow.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Because it's like, if you are just by yourself and you're doing it as a side gig, you feel like you can charge less and give people more. And that's a great thought. But if you're thinking down the road, you can't be continuously like raising your costs like as you kind of go on. So anyway, it's just something. So then Will has to charge, $50 some for a GI support product. So it's really cool that he made one. Long story short, wrapping my point up. It's really cool that he did that, and then it's actually really helping people because he was, all the data is there, but it's still putting out a product. Like, you've launched several products now. It's still nerve-wracking.
Yep.
It's like you're about to get real feedback from a lot of people that are paying a lot of money for it.
And I was trying to share the screen to show the product. It didn't want to work right now. So anyway, guys, check out Leviathan Nutrition. Obviously, we're proud retailers of it.
Yeah, I think the only retailer.
I think so right now. Yeah. Which we love carrying his stuff. So
yeah, because honestly, we've had this conversation a lot. Is other retailers just look at the price of it and they say no, like immediately.
Yep. But I mean, we want to carry quality, and so and I think it takes a certain level of understanding of his products to be able to explain it, especially on the ground level, because people see that $55 for IRE or whatever, they're like, "What? Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yes, but here's why it's so beneficial."
Yeah.
We have this interesting question here: is it weird to think of Glaxon as a tech company and not as a supplement company? I feel they are closing in on Steve Jobs' Apple territory, where no matter what they put out, it's going to be great, usable product with new benefits.
Well, I know Michael would love to hear that.
That would make his day. Yeah.
I know that he would be way too humble to accept any of those comments, but at the same time, I mean, those are your users. And honestly, man, and I think the position that you and I are in is good because we can say this stuff and it doesn't matter. Like, because some people won't give Glaxon a certain amount of credit because it'll hurt the feelings of other people that pay you and rely on you. But I think that when Glaxon dropped, for me, it was a pivotal moment. Not to overplay it too much, but it was a pivotal moment for the industry in general, because I think there was a lot of stagnation. There was a lot of just, everyone was coming out with the same fully loaded, same dose formulas. And then Glaxon came in and kind of, they had some cool marketing, but they had some and they're doing a lot of educational stuff. And I think it made everybody step up their game, to be honest with you.
And I'm not going to lie, I was very skeptical at first when they came out.
So was I.
Looking at their formulas at face value, I'm like, huh, like, this is different. It's weird. And it took us a while to, bring them in. And now we love them, obviously. We're huge Glaxon people.
Well, I think that's like a big thing we always talk about is it's always good to hear the why. And that's what's nice about companies. They've probably gone above and beyond maybe any other company explaining to, I think, both of us, like their why. And then that way, so you have people that rely on us. We're sort of the middlemen giving information. So they know if they provide us with the information, then we can tell other people, and then they tell other people. So it's worth it to them. And I mean, they've come out with products that, exactly what you said. When I first saw them, the way they approached me was almost like, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, but when I saw the formulas, I'm like, okay.
And it's almost like, man, when Glaxon launched, they already had everything in place, like the branding side of it too. Like, they already knew what they stood for. They already had this marketing plan in place of, I am Glaxon, the robot, the space guy. Yep. Whereas like for us, for example, we're still developing every day. It's like, what are we trying to become? Like, what's our brand vision? It seemed like they already had everything in place. And then also the integrity of them to like, literally when we were skeptical about, we wanted to bring in Plasm Surge, right? We wanted to know how it worked because we looked at the formula, the V2, and we're like, what? Like, what's this about? Yeah. Joey literally spent an hour on a phone, like a Zoom call with us, explaining how it works and teaching us the best he could. And that just means a lot, as a retailer, having that kind of attention and, willingness to help. That means a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think when we started to see more behind the curtain, you realize that they're not a fluke at all. You realize how much experience and how much had gone. They weren't. And one thing that they did also that, I think a lot of they don't see it so much now because they understand how much people know more about Glaxon now. But when they first started, I think there was a lot of brands, smaller brands, newer brands. They're like, man, how do we find that lightning in a bottle that Glaxon did? And you're like, it's not lightning in a bottle.
No,
it's a lot. They gave away a ton of free product before they ever launched. That is one thing that a small brand now, and then we found they do their own manufacturing. That's huge for them to pump out new products, try new things. You're not waiting on supply chain nearly as much, but they gave out more free product before they ever launched than any brand I've seen recently. I mean, they were sending me stuff left and right. They were sending everybody out there stuff. Like, it didn't matter. Like, anybody that posted about supplements on Instagram was getting packages from Glaxon, and that takes some big balls to send out
risk,
that much free product.
I mean, that's I think about it in terms, we're obviously much smaller scale, but enjoy the insanity. We just did our biggest run ever, and I'm over here sending out 2 tubs to each retailer that I know. I'm like, God, like this is right. We just spent all this money and all this capital on this, but you just put faith in the process, and it's obviously worked out for them.
Yeah, but at one point, all those guys, Michael, Joey, everybody, they've been at other companies, and they've been there where they're like, oh man, can we really afford to give away 1 unit of this stuff? And you just keep building and building. Like I said, eventually you realize, I was like, that's not a fluke what they did at all.
Very much.
And they just keep going, man. It's just they're just. So I agree. I think there's some people some brand owners that we're friends with that won't want to hear us say things like that about Glaxon, but well, I mean, the proof is in the results.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we're by no means saying they're the best. To just have appreciation for the brand they've created and their products.
100%. There is a lot of people, brand owners that I know, that everybody wins when something like this happens, because you saw a lot of brands around the same time start to find their own. Because I think one good thing what Glaxon did too was also help people be open to different things. You still get those people that you see them and they're like, well, if it doesn't have 6 grams of citrulline, doesn't have 3.2 beta alanine, then it's shit and it's underdosed and all sort of stuff. But people started using Glaxon products that were, maybe not the traditional ones you're used to looking at, and they're like, damn, this stuff is legit.
Exactly.
And then it also, that's good for the entire industry too, because it lets other brand owners that maybe they don't have that much capital or investment to make it. It goes, maybe people are more open to some of these innovative concepts. Because I say it all the time, it's not the brand owners that is the problem when it comes to innovation in this space. It's customers, right? Because then a brand owner is going to have to spend a ton of money educating people. Well, brands like Glaxon are putting a ton of educational content out there for people. So then a brand can let them do that. And then they can come out with their own product and then say, here's why you want to use mine. Whereas, so they're doing a lot of heavy lifting for a lot of the industry.
I agree. To be honest, creating niches. I mean, before Serenity came out, I don't know of any super popular, cortisol reducing components, or I guess section of the industry. Same thing with Xeno and Hybrid.
Or
just a little different,
Yeah, or like brands like Alani Nu. Alani Nu catches a lot of crap, and I'm not out there buying Alani Nu products, but everybody, I think, brands in the space should be appreciative of brands like Alani Nu, because they're bringing in a lot of new customers, and then it's like, okay, they did the hard part, which is bringing customers in. That's usually the expensive, difficult part. Now they're there. Now you can kind of piggyback off that and show them, say, why your products are better. And then it's it's like, I don't know, man. So it was a brand owner, a very small company that I talked to for a while. He said that point to me the one time when he was like, he goes, I constantly hear small brand owners criticize, and I get it that they do it as a way to differentiate themselves. He's like, but I look at brands like that as a positive for us because without them, we could never reach these people. He's like, now I see them and I go, okay, I can go and advertise to those people, target those people, show them why my stuff is better. So that kind of changed my whole like mindset on that.
That's true. We have a compliment here. Joe Gant says, man, you guys are great before you guys came around. I hate to say it, but I did get my stuff from those pyramid companies until I got with you guys. Yeah, thank you, man. That means a lot. Seriously. I'm not sure. I'm guessing if you're watching from Facebook, you're referring to TNS or even Supplement Snoop, but that means a lot. That's exactly why we're here, both of us, is to educate and provide value to people like yourself. So
yeah, and I think like that's kind of one of those comments that I think when you're in your position and you hear people say that, you kind of like, it's really like cool to hear, but you don't really sort of like let it sink in. Like you figure someone like that takes the time to say something like that. Imagine, and we get in these conversations with people sometimes, they really will start to tell you about like what they've been struggling with and the amount of money that they've been wasting. And then all of a sudden they try things. So imagine this scenario. You're someone that, you really want to change. You really want to try to make a change in your life. And then you see this thing and you see other people are having success doing it, right? Or you think that they are. They're showing you these nice pictures and stuff like that and saying, I lost this much weight. So then that person goes, okay, I'm going to try that, right? And then they try it and they don't get the same results. Not only is that person out money, but now you're probably feeling like, what the fuck? Like,
you feel hopeless.
Something really is wrong with me.
Right.
So you're actually in a worse position than when you started because you're like, man, like we hear it all the time. People say, I've tried everything.
Yeah.
Now we know that's not true, but they think that they have tried everything. So then when you show them that there's a different way, it's kind of a more difficult way,
right?
Sometimes, but then
requires a little bit more work.
Yeah.
But
so whenever I think that's like something I've been trying to do is like when people actually say stuff like that, let that whole like thing sink in for you. Cause it's like, that's why you do it all. That's why you do everything. So that's a really awesome thing for him to say.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. Any other, I guess, closing thoughts for the evening?
Xeno and capitalization.
So he went from 342 to 285, dude.
That's big time.
That's impressive, man. Seriously. And that's all, that's the thing. Like that is all you, right? Like all the work that you put in. And that's, I often have a hard time like accepting compliments in regards to like kind of what we do because it's like, well, I'm just arming people with the information. They're out there putting the work in, So, like, dude, Joe, great work, man. Seriously.
Yeah, that's a lot. 60 pounds.
60 pounds, man. That's wow.
Well, you get a lot of that too, where we run into usually two different kinds of people too, where some people are overweight, they're trying to lose, and then some people are thin and they're trying to gain. And like an overweight person will look at the skinny person that says, I can't gain weight, and they'll go, I wish I had that problem. And then vice versa. And it's like, you don't really realize how hard it is for that thin person. Also, they're different. And most of everything is geared around weight loss, but people that are having the struggle achieving what they want, right? It's all the same struggle when it comes down to it. So if we can just pull those barriers, basically like what you said, all we're doing is like, we're removing the barriers that are getting in your way to achieving your goals.
Right.
That's what we
I always told people when I was a coach or a trainer, I said, this is never going to be me. I told all the clients this on their first like meeting with me. I'm the cartographer, but you've got to follow the map, because ultimately, I can make the map all day long, but if you don't follow it, nothing's going to happen.
True.
So same thing. Stuff. Yeah. So awesome.
Yeah, I know that was,
So I say, people are just kind of comments. So I guess next week we want to try to go ahead and preemptively speak it into existence, get a cast going. We can kind of figure out the day. Guys, if you're listening right now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google, even on Amazon now, make sure you go check us out on Instagram at Supplement Snoop at the Nutrition Store LLC. And stay tuned for more. We'll be back next week.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.